Christ. Anyway, I guess we're talking about Alabama now. Yay. I'm sure everybody is thrilled about that knowledge. So, what happened in Alabama? Well, abortion providers are suing the state. You heard me right. Let's get into it. But first, let's get into the fan art section. And the first one we have here is from Gray Nightshade. They said, Easter is over, but Bunny Suris is on the brain. I'm a longtime lurker, actually joined for political commentary, stayed for the trans allyship and the cute avatar. I actually started this last night after having a drink, woke up before work to finish it, and it's generally gotten me out of an art block. That is fantastic. I love hearing that anything about my channel has helped people with an art block. The next one we have here is from Ivana Dragmeyer. This was a commission request from another fan of Suris, playing a completely fair and legit game against Volroth. And it's going great. You know, that hand is all forests. Either I'm playing a really bad elf deck or I'm fucked. The next one we have is from Axo that has cream. Just a silly drawing of Timer-kun. Nothing to see here. Yes, I screwed up the funny number, and it says boobies. It says bobies, not boobies. Bobies. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, go ahead and join the Discord! And then drop it there. Also hit the like button, subscribe. All that other fun stuff. We have stuff to talk about, though. We got to talk about Alabama. Don't you want to talk about Alabama? Don't you want to do that? Because I sure do. So, what has happened here? Well, on July 31st, healthcare providers and an abortion rights group on Monday sued Alabama in an effort to block the state from criminally prosecuting people who help others travel out of state to get abortions. Because, you know, in Alabama, what they're trying to do, and what they're trying to do in a lot of states, actually, is they're trying to make it so that if you need an abortion, and you decide that the state is not going to help you, or the state is one that you can't get one in, and you travel outside of the state to go somewhere where it's legal, they're trying to make it to where it's illegal to do that. You know, normal shit, not dystopian shit. That's like, do you remember when gay marriage was not a federally recognized thing and people had to go get married outside of the state? They would get married outside of their home state, and then they would come back home to live, and they would have a, you know, legally recognized marriage there. And that was just a thing that people got used to having to do. Imagine if they tried to make that legal. Like, oh, did you travel out of state and get married? Well, you're getting prosecuted. That's not right. That's kind of just anti-freedom. Like, the idea of being free in America, this runs completely counter to that. But it's something Republicans have pushed for a lot because, I don't know, they're stupid and they deserve a lot more slurs than I can say on air. In a lawsuit filed in Montgomery, Alabama, the West Alabama's Women's Center, the Alabama Women's Center, and its medical director, Yashika Robinson, said that any such prosecutions would violate a basic right to travel between states under the United Constitution. Yeah, basically, the Yellowhammer Fund filed a separate, similar lawsuit. In 2019, Alabama passed the Human Life Protection Act, a law banning nearly all abortions. I think I remember covering that on this channel. The law took effect last year after the United States Supreme Court reversed its previous rulings in Roe v. Wade that had guaranteed abortion rights nationwide. Before that ruling, the healthcare providers suing the state had provided abortions, and the Yellowhammer Fund had helped people raise money to obtain the procedure according to lawsuits. But both lawsuits cited remarks made by the Alabama Attorney General, Steve Marshall, in August 2022's radio interview that Alabamans who help others travel to states where abortion is legal in order to obtain them could be prosecuted as criminal accomplices. So if your friend, right, goes, hey, I need a medical procedure, and I need to get it done out of state. And you go, okay, I'll help with that. So you go out of state, a legal thing to do, and you get a medical procedure, a legal thing to do, in a state where it is legal to get the medical procedure. They could just throw you in jail. Why? Why is that a...
Tell Alabama.
Thank you for the 500 bits, Red Joker. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing anybody's considered as okay? Why is that a thing people have thought is fine? It's not. It's not at all. And yet, somehow, this is something that Alabama has made more normal in there. Can we make an idea? This is not normal. Just like hashtag this is not normal on twitter.com. I refuse to call it X. It's okay to dead name Twitter. And then we just put stuff like this in hashtag this is not normal. And every single time something like this happens where Republicans have stripped away human rights from people, we just put hashtag this is not normal. It said Colorado still ain't doing bad. It said, yo, Suris is dead naming Twitter. Yeah, where are you going to cancel me? Twitter? No? Well, get bent. The healthcare provider said the threat of prosecution events prevents them from advising patients about where they could travel to get abortions. And the Yellowhammer Fund said that it has been forced to shut down its abortion funding in Alabama.
They really want you to keep it in the family.
They really want you to keep it in the family. When we cannot share information with patients about all of their options during a pregnancy, including those options that are legal and available outside of Alabama, the physician-patient relationship is put in jeopardy and our patients are harmed, Robin Marty said, who is the operations director at West Alabama's Women's Center. Attorney General Marshall will continue to vigorously enforce Alabama laws protecting unborn life, which include the Human Life Protection Act. Amanda Priest said that. She was a spokesperson for Marshall, said that in an email. That includes abortion providers conspiring to violate the act. Abortion providers conspiring to violate the act. Woman, you are the reason we need tar and feathering back. I'm kidding. That's just something that somebody said in the chat, and I thought it was funny. But I'm not actually going to advocate for that, because that would be violence, and that would be bad. But it's okay when the state does violence, and that's okay to advocate for, because arbitrary reasons. I guess YouTube, please don't demonetize me. Everything I've said is objectively correct. So I have to ask a question here. If you are in Alabama and your friend says, hey, there's a particular drug I want to do, and it's legal in a different state. Do you want to go out to that state and do that drug? And it's a drug you want to do too. Is that an okay thing to do? Well, most people would say, yeah, that's pretty okay. That's fairly all right. But when it's providing health care, which I know that Republicans don't see it as health care, or at least they pretend it's not health care because it wins them brownie points in election cycles. When it's healthcare, then it's bad. Then it's bad, apparently. That's reasonably neato. Alice the NB Neko for the 100 bits just said, this is what happens when politicians try to make medical decisions that should only be made between the patient and the doctor with an actual medical degree. Yeah, this is where we run into another issue. Like, just truly and honestly, I need you to answer a question for me. If you're a politician, what business is it of yours what goes on in another person's body? And if you are somebody who thinks that freedoms for all is a value that we should have in America, why do you want to inhibit the freedoms of other people in America that are not yourself? Jack and Quill says, I'm pretty sure most of the people who vote for shit like this would not be okay with that scenario. So, here's my theory. I believe every one of those people would be okay with that scenario, but they would publicly say they're not okay with that scenario. That's what I think is happening here, because, you know, just like how the most transphobic states are the ones that look up the most trans porn, and the states with the most education that does not include sex ed tend to have the higher rates of teen pregnancy, I feel like in every single scenario where there's a Republican that would say that, oh no, that's a bad thing, you shouldn't do that, it's something they've fucking done and that they would advocate for in private. I am almost 100% convinced of this. And if somebody can prove me wrong, then by all means, my comment section is there. It's ready for you to do that. I implore you, please find a way that I am incorrect here. I need you to go poll every politician and stalk them so that you can figure out if they're actually violating the moral codes that they are trying to uphold, or at least they pretend they're trying to uphold in our judicial system. And when you realize that that's an immoral thing to do, don't stalk people. You realize that we can't really come to an end conclusion there, other than it's probably what you would do. It's probably what they're doing. So keep money out of religion. I would rather keep money out of religion and keep it out of politics and keep religion out of politics, but I don't see any of those lines getting unblurred anytime soon. Jemson says, because I'm saving people from themselves. Hurdy-gurdy-gurd. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. My school only gave us any form of sex education when 3 girls got pregnant. It sadly was the whole abstinence-only type. Look, I learned nothing about sex when I was in school. Nothing. I never got sex ed. Because I was in Pensacola Christian Academy, and PCA failed every single one of its students when it came to sex education. Every single one of them. And it's weird how they had a bunch of rules about how you needed to hold hands with the opposite gender when you were younger, but the minute that you hit adolescence, touching anybody of the opposite gender, suddenly bad. Evil, evil bad. Instead, at this point, they all do this because they want to keep some actually totally normal things as a fetish and desperately need a boogeyman to blame. Yeah. Certainty says gasp, holding hands, ew. Certainty, you need to understand. You need to understand. Holding hands gets you pregnant. And it's why Saki is expecting. I'm kidding. You know, since my sex education was so bad, I forgot about it. Anyway. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Please, if you've got some of this garbage that is happening in your state and you want me to talk about it, throw it into the video request section of the Discord. The like button, all the other fun stuff. And yeah, I realize, but by saying the words I've said, I've probably made a whole slew of MPreg fan art get started out in a bunch of people's minds, and that's kind of scary, but the insert end video tagline here.